Specifically with, in regards to the budget, how much of that budget is used to outreach, to reach out to our special needs and veterans community to participate in the program?
Yes, I can't give you a certain percentage of our marketing and outreach budget that'll be used for that specifically, but I can tell you that there are targeted audience group are included in both the special needs populations as well as our veteran populations. We're working on trying to secure some federal funding to support our veterans and the military bases that exist within the area of San Antonio, but not within the city of San Antonio proper, to make sure that those vets and their spouses have access to funding to further their education and training careers.
Wonderful. And again, I appreciate the pivot, the quick pivot on those two communities, for those two communities. Has there been any work done with the specialty courts to get people enrolled into the program?
The specialty courts? No, we have not.
Might be something we can, another way just to get some more information out there and work with some of the judges to get individuals involved in the specialty courts into the program.
Absolutely.
I know that there's, we've seen some slides and we've seen kind of an overview of a plan, but is there a more specific plan? I mean, I'm looking for kind of steps. When I talk to my community about the Ready to Work program, they want to know exactly the steps and how it's working. And then not only that, but I'd like to see at each step what the numbers are, the metrics, as my colleague likes to talk about a lot, right? But I think it is valid, especially in this case. I'd like to see as we move forward how we're progressing, how well we're doing, and at every stage. Is there a plan, almost like a flow chart or something that I can look at?
Absolutely, yes, Councilmember. We can provide you with that. And
Okay.
Our plan to provide transparent, public-facing dashboards so that they can see how we're progressing throughout the entirety of the program is underway. Those dashboards should be up by the end of June.
Okay, I love a dashboard. It's very helpful, especially when we're using that data to talk with our communities about it. I'd like to know a little bit more about the usage of emergency funding. I'm very, very pleased to see that y'all increased the amount. I think in this day and age, I think that $1,500 can make a huge difference to somebody who's trying to get to school or trying to get to their otherwise their job training program. And I think it's a really important aspect of this program, not just the emergency funding, but really all of the wraparound services that you're providing. If we know more about what emergency programs participants are encountering, like what exactly are they using it for? I always use the example of, their car broke down and they need to get it fixed so they can get to school. But what else are they using it for, do you know?
We're going to track that. We're excited to see what that's going to look like. Once they actually start accessing those dollars, we'll see the trends, we'll see how much they're actually using, what those areas they're using it for, and that'll help to inform our wraparound support services throughout the program.
Wonderful. And then I have a District 6 Small Business Advisory Committee, and we met last week, and they talk a lot about access to capital, which of course for a small business is important. They also talked a lot about the labor shortage. And I want to mention briefly, I want to highlight really a gentleman, Jason Gonzalez, who opened Mad Pecker Brewery in my district. If y'all are ever in my hood, you got to go there because it's really an amazing place. He named all the beers after the neighborhoods around it, which I love because one of them is the one I grew up in. But anyways, a really, really successful small business. And during the pandemic, he, I think, heroically kept every single one of his staffers on. And for the service industry, that's really saying something. He didn't lay anybody off. But as opportunities opened up, he now has a labor shortage. And so we talked about the Ready to Work program and getting him engaged. None of the people in my group, my small business advisory group, knew about the Ready to Work program or how to get engaged with it. So what kind of outreach can we do specifically for small businesses? And then how will they be able to benefit from it?
It's a great question. I'll be happy to come out and speak to your group and make sure they're aware and informed. We've talked to the Small Business Advisory Committee that exists within the city of San Antonio. We hit all the chambers up and made sure that they're aware several times, some of them, to make sure that they're aware of what's happening with Ready to Work. But we'll continue to beat the drum and make sure that we're doing our part to spread the word. But how small businesses benefit, number one, if they're hiring in any of our targeted occupations, they have an access to that trained, skilled workforce that the rest of the labor market would have access to. Or they themselves, if they are, working and their business is operating in one of those targeted industry sectors, they can pursue training programs if they meet all the eligibility criteria themselves. A lot of small businesses' income levels, depending upon their family size, fall within the range that's acceptable for ready to work. Then they can benefit from the training programs themselves in order to increase their skills so they can grow and expand their businesses from within, because they're their first employee. So we want to make sure that they're able to benefit from the program as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Cabello Havrda. Councilmember Villagran.